Hello everyone, welcome to Hebron Gospel Theological College and Seminary Online. I am your guide, James Sonder, who will be teaching you through the guidelines of study methods. Study methods is uniquely designed to help you to make sure that you are academically strong. You find your resources appropriately, and it will help you to write proper assignments, to write proper articles, research papers, and many things for the academic blogs. This course is such a beautiful course that will help you to understand your academic skills in the fields of writing, listening, and also in the fields of preaching. This course is designed for you for the benefit of your academic increment and development of your own knowledge that will help your own benefits. For example, when you start writing an article, you need to find out so many resources. You need to go through many books, newspapers. You have to listen to the voice of the people. But in this method, study methods, it will help you to go to that specific sources from where you want to write your article. That is the beauty of this beautiful course, study methods. And I will be guiding you, helping you, and explaining the beautiful course in the following time period that we have been allotted. The objectives of the course. As you go through this course, you will find three different important aspects. That is, one, you will be exploring the academic education. The second one, you will be exploring the writing style of an academic assignment. And the third and the most important is that you will be able to explore more into your own work, expanding it for further reading. For example, when you are writing an assignment or you are writing a kind of a small reading report of any book or any article, what happens next? As you finish it, you can also give other students or the teachers or any academic person who can further reread it and use it in his or own her in the writing academic styles. So that can be resourced and can be used for further reading. So that is the third aspect that is very much important when you do write your articles and all those assignments and research papers in your academic education. So when we are looking through the learnings from these courses, it will help you more and more knowing the academic education in the style of academic style. So this is a kind of a COT RTS guide style that we are following in our syllabus. It will help you to assign your personal works and ideology into a perfect defined paper where you have strong thought in the theological aspect. What are the requirements of this course? Well, there is 5% of the your investment of participation. The 5% will be calculated how you are investing your time in the class. There will be a 10% of your reading assignments. There will be a 10% of your research design or a research assignment that you are submitting to the teacher, and there will be another 10% of the class study work. For example, whatever the class work will be there and whatever the classes that we will be providing in it, and you have to respond to that, and according to that you will be given 10%. So 35% is the internal assessment, including 5% that is your attendance in the class. How preferably you are attending the classes, or you are going through the recordings and you are getting into the subject. So that is a kind of a 5% will be given to you. So in a total you have 40% of the internal assessment, and the rest 60% will be your seminar attendance and an exam, the final exam for the concluding of the subject in the semester. So this is the outline of the course description you are going through. We will look into the idea of the syllabus. What is the idea of syllabus that we are going into the course? So in the syllabus, the first chapter is about how to study. Many of us, we design our own thoughts in such a way that we know everything, and we do not like to explore the things, and we make a mistake. But this course, when we see in the first chapter, it says how to study. The word how to study enables us, to come to a level where we need to learn. Learning is the most important aspect of the study methods. When we start learning, we will explore how to study. So this is in the course that has been designed for us to help us how to study. Study has a couple of things. One is the reading. What is reading? That is also the next chapter in our study syllabus. When we see how we read, we understand automatically that how we study. Because when you start reading a book, you will understand, oh, this is how the study goes on. This is how the person, the author, the writer is trying to explain to me about my own study that I'm exploring. So your study can be involved one is that you have to read, you have to write, you have to present, and you have to listen from others also. This is how you study. These are the factors of studying. There are academic ways to explain how to study, and your study design is in such a way that will help you to examine how you study till now. From BTH, the journey of your theological seminary in this online platform starts in a different level. Because the way that you are studying till now is not the study that will be continuing from the theological aspect. The study that you will be focusing from the BTH, from the very beginning of this course, is very different from what you have studied the earlier aspects. The reason I say is that this involves dedication, this involves hard work, and this involves concentration. These are the three aspects of theological studies that will help you to understand and explore more about the first chapter, how you study. Once you enter into this aspect, you will come into the next aspect that is called the reading. How are you reading? For example, when the book or an article is given to you, so what the next step for you will be that you have to go through the outer cover, you have also looked at the back cover, and also you have to look at the description, the abstracts are there, the preface are there, the introductions are there, and accordingly you have to read the entire book. It's not just simple reading from the chapter 1. That doesn't make sense at all. Not from the chapter 1, oh, I really need to read from the chapter 1. No, it's not like that. You have to also understand who is the author. So that is how you explore reading. You have to read so many things. For example, you have to read different articles. Articles are also many multiple designs are there. For example, a small blog in the internet or in the Facebook or in Twitter or also in the tender or in the newspaper. A small written caption is also kind of an article that explains so many things to you, and in that sense you are able to learn and you are able to read the theories of the the title or the headline of that article. So it explains a lot, so you understand from that reading. Similarly, in the book reading or in the academic style reading, you have to read the the introduction of the book. You have to read the first cover of the book. You have to go through the publishers, you have to go through the year when it was printed, and also at the back it will be written about the author's intention of the book. There will be many editors also in the book who will be explaining what kind of book is this. This is how the style of reading comes into you, and this is how you are going to explore. Yes, of course, in the deeper aspect of the subject we will be exploring it more and more, and you will be able to learn more and more about the subject. So when we come to the reading actually helps you to understand more. Understanding is also one of the biggest factor of reading the subject. So we cover the first two chapters, that is this how to study, and then second is the reading aspect of our theological education. So we will be looking into the third aspect of our theological education, that is the writing assignment. How we need to write our assignments. So in the beginning I would when I said that there are three internal assessment marks. First one was the reading assignment, the second one was your presentation, the third one was your research paper. So these are the three reading assignments and writing academic assignments that you have to follow through in your BTH courses. For example, when you are reading something, you have to give a report of what you read. So that carries a 10%, what I say. So this kind of writing styles, how will you write a reading report? That is how we are going to discuss in the writing assignment of the aspect. Then comes your presentation. When you write something, then only you are able to present. So in that writing, how you are going to write in such a way that will help you to present it properly. It's not about only writing in the style that you are going to the, in front of your classroom or in front of an audience or a lens that you are going through. It's not about that, just reading it out. It's not nothing like that. It is the way of your presentation. How are you presenting your work is more important than how you're trying to write it. But of course, when your writing is good, your presentation automatically becomes very good. So this is how the aspect you have to understand in the writing assignment. And then we have the different types of assignments. What are the types of assignments? We have reading report, we have research paper, we have reflection paper, we have internal examination evaluation paper. For example, the sermon paper evaluation is also there. We have independent research paper. For example, we say those papers as dissertation. We also say thesis paper. We also say the article or the blog printing publishing papers. So there are so many notes that we are going to write and discuss about the assignment styles that is going to follow in our course as we go into it. So what is the fifth chapter that we are going to look at is the collection of data. How are we going to collect our data? There are so many data available, but according to your topic, we are going to look into the data. What are the sources? Are we going to have a physical source? Are we going to have a written material? Are we going to have an audio material? Or are we going to look into some 100 years past, somebody has spoken something? Are we going to write that aspect into our assignment? How are we going into it? So that is how the, collection of data will help us. What is data? Data is simply the information that I want to write in my assignment. For example, your teacher said you that please write a reading report on this subject. For example, there is a book on New Testament, or there is a book in the systematic theology, and your systematic theology teacher or the New Testament teacher says you have to write a reading report on such and such author's publisher's book. So what you have to do? You have to go and collect that book from a source, or that is called the collection of data. So how will you go and collect? Whether you have to go through the internet, you have to go through the library, or you have to ask somebody who is selling the book, you have to purchase it or take a Xerox copy. That is how you have to collect your data. There are systematic ways of collecting the data. So the data collection also gives you an important aspect of your learning and writing your assignments. So we will be learning in that course how are we going to collect the data. So after the collection of data, there is the most important thing is the formulation of data. After you analyze data, because whatever the data you are collecting is not always the appropriate data. Sometimes the data will be more, which is not needed at all, but you have collected it. So what you have to do is you have to bring out all your data. You have to analyze your data, you have to read your data, you have to think, okay, this is what I'm going to write and this is what I'm going to write. When you go to a vegetable market, how you do? You know there is a tomatoes. You go into the tomato shop and you see there are so many tomatoes there. But what do you pick? You only pick the good ones that you're going to cook. Similarly, when you're going to have, a research writing, you're going to the places, to the resources where you are going to find out so many resources, but only the specific data that is required for your assignments, and you are going to pick that same data and then you are going to frame it. And that when you bring the tomatoes back home, you are going to prepare a dish. So when you're preparing a dish, it doesn't mean that you're putting all the tomatoes in the dish. You are choosing only 2 tomatoes, which is appropriate, right? And that 2 tomatoes only can help the dish to become more tasty. So you're using the same thing, again, bringing from a big vegetable vendor, and then you're coming and small, and then small portion, and then small portion. So you are specifically, you're narrowing down your research. You're collecting the data to a small and tiny amount, and that tiny amount is helping you to make a tasty dish. So that tiny amount of resource will only form your entire assignment or the research that you are going through. So this is how you are going to collect your data, and you will be pushing it into it, and you are going to make your data valuable in your writing style. So in the next chapter, that is chapter number 6, we are going into and we will be looking at library research. What is library research? Many of us did not get privilege yet to visit a library, but it is very easy nowadays because you can access it online. When you see into, when you look into the Hebron Gospel, college, the online platform, there is an online library. There is an e-library. In the e-library, you get so many PDF books. When you log into the e-library of Hebron Gospel College, you will find there are books that has been downloaded in the PDF format. You will get it into a PDF format. You can just download it. So you get that from the e-library. But there are some libraries which you can go to physical assessment. When you go into the library, you can just go to the racks where the books have been kept. You can collect and pick up your book, and you can do your library research. So library researchers are those research that are collect the data from libraries. You go to the library, you collect the data from the library and start using those library resources. So that is called as library resources. Even in library resources, there are three different aspects of understanding what is library resources. What are the three? I'll just explain you. The first one is the classification and collecting the resources from the different departments. In the library, there are so many different departments. For example, there is theological department, there is Christian ethics department, there is New Testament department, there is Old Testament department, there is a Christian mission department, there are church history department. There are so many other branches of theological education. So what you have to do is that you have to classify your data particularly to what subject. So for example, you are a student of New Testament, so your reading assignments or the research will only narrow down from the New Testament aspect. So when you are going to a library research, it doesn't mean that whole of the library is your research. No, from each department helps you to go through that department, and from that specific department only the books will help you. So this is the first aspect. First one is the classification. The second one is the collecting from that classification. What is that classification? For example, you have different topics in your subject. For example, your topic is Christology. For example, you're learning from the aspect of New Testament Christology. What is New Testament? The basic idea is that Jesus Christ, the study, the humanity or the deity of Jesus Christ. So the teacher asks you to do an assignment on Christology. So your department, that is the New Testament department. So you go to the library, go to the section of the New Testament. When you go to the section of New Testament, you have to go through the other sections that is called the Christology. When you look into Christology, and then you can just find so many things in the Christology, and according to your topic, for example, the teachers have said you that you have to do a thought of Christology, Jesus Christ, in your own church. What your church is defining Christology, So what you have to do is you have to go and find your church ideas about what your church is, and then you have to find the theological aspects of Christology from the section of Christology. So this is how you narrow down your topic. And then the third library research is finalizing what all the resources that you will be using at the preparation of your research. So that comes the entry of footnotes and bibliography or the references that you are going to use it for your assignments. That is how slowly we develop into the narrowing down of your assignment and make your assignment perfect to be submitted to the academic office. So the next, that is the 7th chapter. What is the 7th chapter? The 7th chapter, as I said it is the footnotes, bibliography, the endnotes, the entire reference section is what is the chapter number 7. So you get now the idea what this study methods is. This is how we are going to come to that 7th chapter about the footnotes, how to narrow down the library resources into a single source, making it a reference for our assignments and making it clear for the submission to the academic office. The 8th chapter will be the bibliography or the entries at the end, how you define the bibliographies, what bibliography actually is, and how help you to resource it so that other people can know it. Oh, this is an academic person has done it, and academically this is very strong, and this is how the bibliography had to be presented, and that how is the academic office accepts your bibliography and gives you your internal assessment, and then you go further in your research. Then we have our following list of abbreviations. What are the abbreviations? How we abbreviate the things inside the research paper. Abbreviations is mostly used in the high level of academic writings. For example, when we are writing a thesis or a dissertation or independent research or a kind of a book, when we are publishing, the abbreviations are being used over there. Abbreviations are mostly the small short forms of many words, or in the index form that we are using it in the book. So abbreviation is just a slight introduction that will be there in the course. It is not much needed in the BTH course, but it will be helpful for you if you learn it in the academic study or the academic journey that you are going through this course. The next one is technical types of writing assignments in the seminar papers. What are the technical style? For example, what is the body of the assignment? How you have to introduce the subject matter? What is the content or the idea of a seminar paper? Oh, this is how you have to present your seminar paper. So there will be some kind of introduction in the beginning. There will be a theme of the research paper. There will be some kind of body that you are trying to explain about it, and then you have your own evaluation. There will be a reflection of your theological aspect, and then you are going to conclude it with your own words, and at the end you are going to present the bibliography. This is a kind of an style or a skill of writing the assignment papers. We will be learning on to it. And the last and the final chapter that we are going to conclude is the guidelines for appearing the examination. How are you going to appear the examination? So this is the last chapter where we will help you to go through the crash course, or we need to go through the subject matter. How will you go into it? And the deeper aspects, which all important things is more important for you to learn again. So that is how we polish the shoe at the end, that is how we polish your idea after finishing the subject of the course. So I'll be seeing you in the very next class when we listen to this, that how we study our study methods. So I would like to summarize the entire syllabus in front of you. The first chapters that will help us to study reading, writing, listening, and then the next few chapters will help you to how to summarize, collect the data, and then how to put it into the third aspect, that is how to put it into the format of academic writing, that is in the reference, endnotes, footnotes, bibliography. And then the final things will come into the courses, how to present your paper in front of the academic office or the academic subject that we are going to read. And finally, how to appear the exams. This is a beautiful course, and I hope you are going to enjoy from the very beginning of the first chapter. So when you see the study methods, this subject is designed according to the online aspect of Hebron College and Seminary. This is the online platform, and according to that online platform, this study method has been designed. When we go to the physical college, the physical college has a different medium of writing styles and different medium of research methods. So, but through the online methods, we are presenting you the Hebron Gospel, the core study methods that will help you, to transfer your theological education into a very perfect academic style. So, please follow the pattern of study methods that we are going to help you only in the online platform. I'll see you in the next class.